Because are you growing carrots in your yard right now?
If there's bugs on it, it's from Cowlitz County. They're Cowlitz County bugs.
My family's never going to see me again between April 19th and October.
Radish, but it's green and round and it has pokey things and it's...
How do you feel about the sourdough craze? Welcome back to Connections in Cowlitz, the podcast where we introduce you to the faces behind local places. I'm Katie Keaton, your Southwest Washington realtor.
And I'm Gabby Graves, your hometown lender.
And today we are talking about the Cowlitz Community Farmers Market, and we are joined by Laurie Kochis. She is the market manager. She is also a vendor. We are going to talk about some homemade bread that she makes, but also the market in general. So thank you so much for coming on with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, welcome. So excited to have you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, Gabby and I were talking before this episode, and we were thinking, the farmers market has been around 15 years, 20 years. We weren't quite sure, but we talked to Laurie, and the farmers market has been going on since 1979, you said?
Yep.
45 years nearly.
I don't want to hear
46.
that. That was the year I graduated high school.
Well then it was 10 to 12 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But wait, yes.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
So how long have you been in charge of the market?
This will be my 6th year in charge of the market. I started in 19, and I was just baby stepping it through my first year. And my first full onslaught year was 2020 with COVID.
Great luck.
Yay-ha.
Yes. Yeah. What better way to learn than
Right?
just going straight to it?
Yeah. But we opened and we opened the doors and we fed y'all.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So the farmers market started in 1979. How did it start? Do we know who the originators were and how they pulled it together?
This would be Terry Miracle was one of the first market managers, and there were a good farms during that time. You know, we had quite a few local farms that were producing quite a bit of produce, and so we actually started in the old cow shed on the, of the Fairgrounds where the farmers market was over inside, and. But we had a lot of farmers, and they just wanted to come together and be able to sell their produce to local people.
Love that.
And so that was the beginning of the farmers market.
And it sounds like you've stayed true to that too today. You said that one of the main things you do is you feed the community. That is your
very much
passion.
So. That is our focus. We focus on being a consumable market. We do have a few crafts, a few wood items here and there. There are certain things we don't do. We do not do jewelry. We do not do resale of any kind, and we also don't do clothing.
Okay.
So those are 3 items that you probably will not find. The clothing, unless it's farm or garden related, like a gardening apron or something along those lines.
So consumable, that is great, not just people buying knickknacks and this and that, things that they're actually using. So of course consumables, food, but then also do you have like lotions, homemade items like that?
So we do. We have at this year, I think coming in, we're looking at having 4 soap vendors, and all of them have different varieties of what they do with that soap. They
Absolutely.
can do room mist, some of them do candles, they have other things that they bring with the soap with them. So
yeah, absolutely.
we do, and those are all people that are they're producers. They're making in their homes or whatever,
Well, we were talking earlier about the timeline of things because, of course, you have the Saturday markets. Those go down at the Expo Center. And in the past several years, you've had a Tuesday market. Hopefully, we'll have a Tuesday market this year as well. But you made mention of the fact that, we can't really do a Saturday and a Monday because we have to go home and make these things. We are producers of items, which I think people don't realize.
Yes,
right.
We do have to make all of this or grow it or, somehow we have to put our time in.
Yeah.
We can't always just be at market.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So first of all, how many vendors do you typically have?
Saturdays, we run between 35 and 40 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, we're running between 15 to 20. I think that probably will grow as we get more and more people interested in the market.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Out of those 50 vendors or so, what do you, what's the mix? Would you say that 30% is food, 20% is
I will say 85% is food.
Okay.
And 15% is non-food items.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A true farmer's market.
A true farmer's market.
Yes. And I want to say also, coming in as we open up our season, I know people come to the farmer's market and they expect to see tons of produce in April.
What?
And it's not happening.
Who expects that?
Right. Because are you growing carrots in your yard right now?
I mean,
I'm
Probably
never
not.
Girl, I
growing
don't grow
carrots.
things
Probably
because I
not.
kill it on accident.
So you won't see real produce coming in until you actually see produce coming in from your yard.
Right.
We do have truckers that will come in that will bring out of area produce. We have one trucker, she will be bringing in items from Oregon, Hermiston area. And then I have another trucker coming in that will be bringing in Yakima produce this year as well.
Nice.
Some peaches.
Yes.
Love
Yes,
that.
Yes. So the first non-local things you will see will be asparagus coming in.
Yum.
That will be the first item that will pop up, and that will be the first produce that you're going to see at the market.
Oh, I love that. That is fantastic. So, okay, when do you start? When is the first market day?
April 19th.
April 19th, people. You heard it here first.
Well, they probably heard it here last because this might come out after April 19th.
That is true.
That's okay.
You guys heard it here last, but
We do run till the end of October.
Fantastic.
The Saturday market runs through April through October. Tuesdays will open up the 6th of May, and Tuesdays will run from May through the end of September.
Okay.
well, and I think you make a great point about the fact that people expect there to be produce on April 19th because we're so out of touch with like food production.
oh,
We're
where
used
does
to
your
going
yeah.
to the grocery store and buying anything we want because it's shipped from everywhere.
Right.
Well, we don't understand how it gets here and how it is made. And I think if people were really more in touch with that, they would start buying more of their produce from the market. They would start buying more meat from Matt's Meats, things like that. Connections in Cowlitz is sponsored by locally owned and operated ServPro of Longview Kelso, the #1 residential and commercial cleanup company in the U.S. They help with smoke damage, fire damage, water cleanup, and vandalism cleanup, mold remediation, and so much more. Remember, you as the homeowner have the final say as to who's in your home. Locally owned, locally operated, ServPro of Longview Kelso.
Connections in Cowlitz is also brought to you by JoJo and Coco Boutique. This is a woman-owned business where the focus is on the relationships and not the sales. They have quality styles for people of any age, literally. So stop in for yourself or someone you love, and you'll leave with some stylish pieces. JoJo and Coco is on the corner of Commerce and Hudson.
Well, the one really great quality about the farmer's market is you can talk to the person who grew, made, or produced what it is you are putting in your body. Mm-hmm. You will know exactly what is in it, and how it is made.
Right.
There's no questions, no mystery. Mm-hmm. And so that is the one really, really great thing about coming to the farmer's market. You can literally talk to the people that made your food. It's not trucked in for 500 miles, and you don't know where it came from.
Or further.
Right.
Mysterious bugs.
Yeah.
If there's bugs on it, it's from Cowlitz County. They're Cowlitz County bugs.
No, we don't do bugs.
I'm just kidding.
That is so funny. Oh, goodness. I love that. Okay, so April 19th is when you start, and that is across the street. It's part of the Fairgrounds,
Yes,
but it's across
part
the
of
street.
the event center.
Okay.
The Cowlitz Community Event Center.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Okay. My mother-in-law loves the Saturday market, and she used to go all the time to, and I don't know the woman's name, she called her the plant lady. It was like her, I don't know, like some, this is going to sound so bad. Some people have like a drug dealer. She had a plant dealer, and it was the plant lady. And she just was like, loved this woman, and she would go and get tons of starts for her garden every year, and it was every single Saturday her favorite thing to do. And I was talking to Katie and Laurie, and I said, what is it about a farmer's market that you just love? And it occurred to me while we were sitting here, it's because when you go to a farmer's market, especially one that's a consumable market like you're talking about, mm-hmm. I tend to pamper myself. I tend to buy myself a nice bouquet of flowers I wouldn't normally buy. I tend to spend a little bit of extra money on some really nice local produce because I know where it came from and I know how delicious it is. I tend to just kind of pamper myself, and I don't mind spending the extra money because I feel like I'm living the good life. And it's honestly one of my favorite things to do is go to a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Well, and you're in the fresh air.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been cooped up for a while.
Get outside.
Yeah.
Meet your friends. There's so many people that come to the market because all their friends are there.
Yeah.
And it's a great social time. You get to see the people you know or
Right.
haven't run into in a while, and it's a really nice, family, safe atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and
That's
you,
really important. It's important to me as a market manager to create that safe, wonderful, family-orientated atmosphere where my families can come. They're just shopping, enjoying themselves. That's very important to me.
yeah. Well, and you mentioned the fact that it is not the Cowlitz County Farmers Market; it's the Cowlitz Community
Exactly.
Farmers Market.
Exactly. Community
Yes.
is what we are.
And so you want to be a place that builds community as well. So you mentioned there are lots of people that basically do their weekly shopping
Yes.
at the farmers market. So you
Yes.
have your regulars for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, absolutely. And like your mom, she has that one person that she always
Yeah.
goes to. And so many of our customers have developed such great friendships with us over the years.
Yes.
I will tell you, I will have 100 people come to my booth on opening day and say hi to me, and it's been so good to see you, and how was your winter? And they're my friends.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They're my friends,
Yeah. Well,
And
let's
so-
talk about your booth for a second too.
Well, real quick, that's what we need more of. We don't need more community pages where we complain about things. We need more community podcasts that talk about the cool, fun things going on and community events where you can just say hi to your community, say hi to someone you haven't seen in a while. We don't
Yeah.
always have to talk about the unpleasant things.
And come on down and just kick back, listen to music, grab
Yeah.
a hot dog, or
Listen to music.
Yes.
Do you guys have the stereos bumping? Or?
No, we have live music.
Do you?
Yeah.
Tell us
I'm
more.
done.
We host local musicians. We don't pay a lot, but it's great exposure for them.
Yeah.
And I've got a great group of people that just really enjoy coming down and playing for us. So I'm really happy. It's been fantastic.
My family's never going to see me again between April 19th and October.
Well, hopefully you don't just stay there all week. Maybe they just won't see you
Just on
a
Saturdays.
Saturday.
Yeah, I'm just not coming home on
And I
Saturdays.
do want to mention, speaking of community, that we do host a nonprofit community booth.
Yes.
So we call it our community outreach booth.
Nice.
So we do have a space that we would love for area nonprofits to come down and tell the community what you do. Bring a big poster and hand out flyers or whatever. But please sign up, come on down. It's free. Your nonprofit can come down and
Get the word out.
get the word out.
Nice. That's a great way to pick up volunteers.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can maybe pick up somebody that's interested in donating, but sometimes more important than money is a helping hand. So that's a great way to get the word out and
Yes.
find other like-minded people to come help you in your nonprofit.
Well, and then that way you can get the word out as to what your nonprofit does for the community.
Absolutely.
That's really important, I think, because I think we have so many services,
We do.
We do.
but do we know about them?
Absolutely.
You're preaching to the choir.
Right. And so
Yes.
right.
No, absolutely. It is
So I
true.
thought it was kind of really so we started that 2 years ago. We started the community outreach booth.
That's such a great idea because you're right. We have a lot of services here, and it's not just about telling the community, hey, we have these services that can help you. But honestly, it's having nonprofits talk to other nonprofits and realize, hey, we kind of do similar things. We can partner together, right? Like the farmers market can partner with, and it just makes our community better as a whole.
Yeah,
So if there
absolutely.
was a nonprofit that wanted to sign up for a weekend booth, do they just reach out on
Cowlitz
the...
Community Farmers Market, www.cowlitzfarmersmarket.com is our website. You can Facebook, you can message, call.
show up on a Saturday?
Any and all.
Look for
Any and all.
Laurie.
Look for Laurie.
Okay,
Hashtag
so
look for Laurie.
are there any needs right now, like maybe like holes in types of vendors that you're looking for? Maybe there's a local farmer that would like to get involved. What are you looking for?
Absolutely. We are constantly looking for local produce.
Okay.
We really, really want to keep our local produce in our market as much as possible. This is our base. So this is really, we're always looking for local produce. Plants and
Like starts and stuff?
oh yeah, veggie
Okay.
starts, plant starts, bedding plants, all of it.
Wow. Okay. I bet there's definitely some people in this community who are into that and that's their passion. Maybe you just haven't taken the leap of faith yet and thought it would be hard to join the farmers market, but it's not hard.
Not too hard.
What is the process like to join?
So we only have really two requirements. You must have a Washington State business license, and then you also must purchase liability insurance for your booth.
Okay.
And that's to make sure that you are not personally sued in case something happens. Case in point, a tent went flying down at Vancouver Market. It was an elderly man. He had just retired, and the tent flew, hit a kid in the neck.
Oh.
Severely damaged him for life, and the old man didn't have insurance, and he lost everything he owned.
Oh,
So,
man.
all of our vendors have liability insurance. It runs about $30 a month, so it's not too bad.
Right.
I was just going to say, I looked into insurance for my
But when
wedding.
when you justify between losing everything you own, that $30 is pretty cheap.
Absolutely. And a business license isn't expensive either. Katie and I just went through the process, and I think the actual business license itself, plus having like the city
And we don't have to have a city
endorsement.
license with us.
Oh.
All you need is a Washington State. The farmers market itself purchases the city license.
Okay.
Nice.
So you don't need anything other than your Washington State business license and liability insurance. And as long as it falls within what we can take.
Right.
You know, I mean, I can't take 10 soap vendors.
Right.
I would
Oh,
love
yes.
to.
Yes.
But I just can't,
That makes sense.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like startup fees would be as little as $100 or
not
less.
too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. It's really not bad at all.
love
And once you get in and you start realizing how much fun it is, it's just
Yes.
Yeah. It's your Saturdays.
I love that.
Well, I want to shout out the farmers that you mentioned earlier because it sounds like you have a couple farmers, 2 or 3
And
that
Willow
have
Grove
been.
Gardens has been with us for probably since the beginning, I think.
Wow.
And they're a staple in the community.
They are
Big
a
pumpkin
huge,
patch.
huge staple in the community. Yeah, they do their pumpkin patch. And they also do a lot of very cool things with kids. And I think they also work with the school gardens as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do you
so-
guys work with the school gardens?
Unfortunately, we really don't. And I've tried contacting Ian a few times and talking with him. I think they're kind of really heavily involved with what they're doing
Totally.
for some reason. But I would love for him to come and do our nonprofit booth.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Future goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then who was the other farmer that you
We
mentioned
have
earlier?
also Jack Penner. He's out on Coal Creek.
Okay, great.
And
Cool.
Jack always brings a huge variety of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to find at his booth.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to go.
He was the first person I ever saw a kohlrabi, and I went, "What is this thing?
What
it's
is
poking out all. It's like almost like a radish, but it's green and round, and it has pokey things, and it's
It's like a radish meets
Yep.
an artichoke.
kind of. Yeah.
Okay,
Kohlrabi, yeah.
Well, that brings me, I guess, to another question.
Yeah.
What are some of the interesting things that you see out at the market?
Oh, this last year we've had some great stuff. I want to say one of my favorites that came in this last year was fermented black garlic.
Oh.
And I cooked with this like no other.
Okay.
It was absolutely delicious. We have some mob sauce, which is finishing sauces. We've got Dave Sylogy sauce. You can find him on the shelf in Safeway even.
Oh, wow.
He does habanero, the ghost pepper, all of it.
Ooh, I love
If
that.
you want to fry your taste buds, go see Dave Sylogy. He'll
Okay.
take care of you.
In fact, I do want to fry my taste buds. That's one of my favorite things about summer is that I don't have to really cook any more entrees. Jeremy just smokes meat nonstop for 6 months.
And then we also had a couple of perfumers that came in.
Oh.
They actually opened a store over in Rainier. So they jumped, and this is funny. I think about how many of our vendors have started out at the market and then eventually turned it into an actual business with a storefront.
It's like an incubation.
It is.
I love that.
It's an incubator for businesses. It really is. Because that's where you kind of find out, would I like to do, store and mortar, or do I just like to be a gig worker?
Well, and like you said, the startup cost is really low.
Right.
So people have a low risk.
Yeah.
Where, opening a brick and mortar store, that's high risk.
High cost.
Yeah. And so
High
it's like,
cost.
okay, let me start low risk.
Right.
And then also let me see if there's a market for what I have.
Right. Let me build a
The gal
clientele.
that has the soap store down at the end down here, Dawn, she started at our farmers market.
Oh, okay, cool.
The people that have the lemon drop, they had the lemon drop. They're now over
caterers.
in the Merc.
Yes.
they started the farmers market.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all the people that actually started the market and then ended up opening stores, opening businesses.
That is so great.
Yeah, so we're kind of the little baby steps to thinking about maybe wanting to do that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. You guys are definitely adding a lot to just the places you're naming. You add a lot to downtown Longview.
Absolutely. We add to the community. We're very important to the community.
I love that.
It's in the name, people.
Yep.
That's right.
It is.
It's in the name.
In the name.
Okay, earlier Katie was asking about your vendor booth and I interrupted her. So I want to hear about what you sell.
Okay. So my booth is Homer Bread.
Homer Bread.
And that's named after my father.
Okay.
So my father was a construction worker, and he was building the hospital down in Ilwaco. The inspector was German. He invited him home to have dinner. His wife made this fantastic bread that she made in a coffee can and baked in a wood-cooked stove.
Okay.
My father fell in love, got the recipe, and started making it and selling it to his coworkers.
Oh.
So his job changed. He asked me to start helping him. I started helping him making bread. And one day I drove by the farmer's market and I went, oh, what do you think?
Yes.
And so I went and talked to my dad. I said, what do you think about selling at the farmer's market? He said, that sounds okay. He goes, I'll help you make it, but I won't help you sell it.
Okay.
And I said, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So my father and I, we baked together for good 20 years. He didn't retire till he was 80.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
well,
so
80 years
special.
old when he finally retired.
It'll keep you strong because baking
I know.
is not for the weak. Like,
No.
Not at
you
all.
gotta use those muscles.
Yeah, I bet you could beat a few people in an arm wrestling competition. Seriously.
I got the dough. baby.
Yes. Yes. Well, and you do because you were mentioning some of the places that sell your items.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you were talking about the vault, which as soon as you said, oh, yeah, I have my turnovers at the vault, I'm like, oh, girl.
We've ate
The
those.
turnovers
Yes.
and cookies are at the vault and
Yes.
also at Keebler Coffee.
Yeah. So at the farmer's market, but you can find Homer Bread at a couple other places in town as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite item that you make?
I want to say it's got to be the original cracked wheat. That was the starting bread that we started with. It's my favorite. It's the one I always go to. It's just good. When you toast it up, it's so nice and crunchy and nutty. There's sunflower flax and sesame seeds in there.
I love nutty breads.
Right?
Yes.
And then we've taken that, and then we've taken that same dough, and we've did cinnamon raisin, cinnamon swirl with it, where we roll it out and roll it up, so it's all swirly inside and pretty.
How do you feel about the sourdough
Take
craze?
my money. Yeah, or have you gotten into the sourdough
You really
craze?
want my opinion on this?
Yes.
We do.
I want
We
your
do. We want the tea.
opinion.
We want the sourdough tea.
I'm not a huge so for me, I think if you personally want to make sourdough bread for yourself and spend 12 to 15 hours making 2 loaves of bread, have at it.
Absolutely.
I personally feel that I can make a whole lot more bread in a lot less time.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a fermented bread, and yes, it's digested a little bit better for you. But the whole process of it is a little over the top for me.
Okay.
For me, bread is not that complicated.
Got it.
Right. Well, and it's almost turned into like a
Cult following.
It is.
more than a
It
cult
truly
following.
is.
It's turned into like this snobby, well, I can make sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Kind of like weird
Well, it
thing.
turned into a science experiment during COVID. Is
Yes.
really what it did.
Yes.
That's when everyone grabbed out the sourdough bread and started playing around. with
Right.
it,
Lots of science experiments were going on during COVID. I'm sure, honestly, a lot of your vendors probably have that as part of their story. Like, oh, I was doing some other job and then COVID came along and I figured out that I could make this or I could do that.
Yep.
And-
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and you'd mentioned a lot of reason why people maybe go towards that sourdough is the fermented process. It's
Right.
easier to digest, the gluten-free, allergy issues.
Well, it's truly not gluten-free, though.
Oh, true. It's just that
it's a low glycemic.
And so that's what I was actually going to ask you. Is there breads that you guys make that kind of have that lower glycemic index?
I make bread. I make bread to love and enjoy.
Me too.
You go,
I don't
girl.
make it. I eat bread to love and enjoy.
But I love making bread.
Yes.
And to me, and that's really my favorite thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
Is early in the morning. It's still dark outside. I get to the bakery at 3 a.m. It's still dark. Nobody's up. And I'm in there playing with rise No.
And honestly, it's like being at the gym because, like I said, that's a workout.
It is a workout.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is a workout.
Absolutely.
I put in 12 to 13-hour days when I'm working.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my goodness.
That's
So-
the norm.
Question for you. What do you say the percentage of the people that are vendors, like, do some of them have it as their full-time job, like their full employment, or?
Most of our vendors have other jobs. Some of them are retired. But I will tell you about a very unique portion of our vendors that have special needs children.
Okay.
Quite a large proportion of our vendors are parents that have special needs children. So this was something they can do while they still have their children with them.
Yes.
And they can take care of their children and they can still work and manage their finances at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that was something I was thinking about too, is how many of our vendors actually do have special needs children.
Yeah.
But it's a
Wow.
great opportunity. It's a
Wow.
fantastic opportunity. I have flower people. I have all kinds of people that,
Yeah.
this is what they do.
Gosh, well, Laurie, you're doing a lot more than feeding the community. Like, I think you're creating a home for people, a space for people to become entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And you're creating a community,
Yes.
That's huge. That's a really big deal.
That's what we're about.
Yeah.
We're all about this community.
Got me the warm and fuzzies. And now I just want to eat bread.
Yay!
The cracked wheat.
I don't know, the
You've talked
cinnamon
me into
raisin
the cracked
sounds
wheat.
The
so
cracked
good.
wheat's
I'm a sucker for the cinnamon bread.
Yeah. The cinnamon bread's delicious.
And you also make cookies.
Yes.
So tell us what kind of cookies you have before we exit.
Okay, we do snickerdoodles, chocolate chip, peanut butter, molasses, oatmeal raisin. My favorite though is my lemon white chocolate.
Ooh.
That's my recipe. So
Ooh, yeah.
it's my yummy.
Yeah.
Oh, we working with the mall, the lemon cookies. People want the lemon cookies. That is like, if you,
Yeah, we need the lemon cookies on there some way,
do.
somehow.
yes.
Well, let me just ask you before we go. Typically, we ask people what's their hidden gem in Cowlitz County, but I'm going to ask you, like, what is the thing at the farmer's market you can't live without? Like, what are you picking up every Saturday for yourself?
Good question.
You can name a few. I won't make you pick your number one favorite.
This is a tough one. Almost everyone does fresh flowers. But of course, the produce, I'm always getting fresh produce.
That garlic you
I love
mentioned.
that garlic. Oh, that garlic the mob sauces are great. We also have other bakers as well. Sometimes I like to go try their stuff too.
So basically, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Shelly's got some cream rolls that are
Ooh.
Woodside Bakery. She used to have Castle Rock Bakery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's Woodside Bakery at the market.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, the Castle Rock Bakery
Right.
was
Right?
so good.
Right?
Which
Okay.
that actually makes sense too. It sounds like the farmers market is such a great place for people that are starting businesses, but maybe also those people that are retired but
Right.
want something to do.
But want something to
yeah,
do.
or don't want to stay at a brick and mortar full time, but still want to enjoy their craft and do it.
And as a market manager, I also do not require my vendors to come every week. I know some markets put such a strong bar on top of their vendors. You have to be here every week. You know what? Life is life. Life is life.
Right.
If you want to go on vacation, go on vacation. You want to go see your grandma, go see your grandma.
Right.
Or you don't feel good, okay.
Yeah.
That's life, and
Yeah.
that's okay. I try to ask them, just let me know the week ahead of time that you're not going to be there. I go week to week.
Yeah.
Because the market fluxes. That's the other thing about the market. The market will go huge, and then we come down a little bit, and then we'll go back huge again, and then we'll come down again. So it's like a living, breathing organism.
Right. Absolutely. And that makes sense. Yes.
It's like a sourdough starter. No, I'm just kidding.
I killed mine.
I
killed mine,
I
too.
can't even
Oh,
keep
thank
plants alive. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. No. Well, if I want sourdough that bad, I'm going to Kalama Sourdough and
There
buying
you
some.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
And he does a great job of it. That's the way I feel about it too. I kind of think that sometimes if we just stay in our own lane,
So true.
I don't need to branch out and do 50 million other things.
That's why we love Wayne. Wayne is our guy.
Right?
Yeah, because we like to talk in front of the camera. We don't want to be behind it. So thank you so much, Wayne.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming on. This was
course.
so fun. And so, as a reminder, April 19th
Saturday market
through
starts.
October.
Yep, end of October.
Okay, and coming soon, more information about Tuesday markets as well.
Yes, more
Okay.
information. Keep posted as to our location for Tuesday.
Okay,
That
and
may
so
be a little bit different.
okay, where can people go to stay up to date with the Cowlitz Community Farmers Market?
Definitely our Facebook page.
Okay,
We have a new webpage, media market person. She's all over it.
Awesome.
So yeah, definitely grab up the Facebook page, and just come to the market.
yeah.
Just come to the market.
Yes.
Well, and if you want to be in touch with what you're eating, because that is so important to
Yeah.
people these days,
Yes.
check it out. See how you can, supplement your grocery list with local produce, local food, local sauces, local bread, local cookies.
And
Absolutely.
one more thing I'd like to add when it comes to adding produce, we accept SNAP.
okay.
EBT, and how we do it, because each vendor cannot process your card.
Okay.
So we have a booth where you would come and exchange your EBT dollars for wooden token dollars.
Okay.
But we also have another program that comes along beside that matches those EBT dollars with match dollars, dollar for dollar, up to $25.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you were to come and swipe your card for $25, you would get $25 in the wooden tokens, and then we also give you $25 of free money to use for fruits, vegetables, plants that produce food, mushrooms, and fresh herbs.
Fantastic. So your money goes further
Yeah.
at the market.
So potentially, once Tuesday's open, you potentially could get $50 of free food every week.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Yes.
And
That's
healthy
huge.
food.
Super healthy
Absolutely
food.
yeah.
That is fantastic. I love
Or
that.
food to grow.
Yeah.
You can buy plants that produce food.
Yeah.
How great is that?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What did you say your saying was? The community. What is it? What is it? Are you going to make me guess?
Community's in our name. We're the community.
We are the community. They are the community. So if you want to make this part of your weekly, life, it's something that will really add value to your life. And Laurie and everyone over at the Cowlitz Community Farmers Market is really adding value to our community. So thank you so much for coming
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you tune in next time for more of your Connections in Cowlitz, sponsored by Sir Pro of Longview Kelso and JoJo and Coco Boutique.